Ho, what's up, solutionaries? Welcome to the Maj 2 Ray Show. Thanks y'all for tapping in. We're going to talk about a few things tonight. Mostly we're going to talk about Jasmine Crockett. Huge shouts to our brother Quantel. I just did his show. He'll probably tap in here shortly. But you guys know the routine. Tell me where you're from, and if you're watching on YouTube, wherever you're watching from, make sure you repost it. All right? If you're watching on X, just hit the repost button. It don't cost you nothing. It's free 99. You just hit a button. All right? I can see who actually reposts. Okay? We're going to ask everybody to support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. That's Quantel, y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to his channel. I just did a show. He's a member of the Solutionary 9, Solutionary University alumni or student. We want to make sure that we're supporting the folks that's supporting the folks. Big Rob just tapped in. Rob was tapped in on the other show over there as well. We want to make sure that we're creating a network of people that we can be entertained, we can have civil discussion, civil discourse, and do productive things. And we, the people that I coalesce with or converge with or congregate, is that a word? I think that's a word. Those are the folks that are doing something productive. Look what Quantel says. Let's get this $57,000 tonight. Nathan Poinsett with the repost. Appreciate you for that, Nathan, over on X, watching on X. Wherever y'all watching from, make sure y'all come in and tell me where y'all watching at. What city you in? If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on X, if you're watching on Rumble, whatever it is, either way, let me know what the city. What's up, Protocol? How are you? Protocol tapped in last night. Guys, also, real quick, GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. We are trying to buy our building. We are trying to keep fundraising. We had a scare, man. For the month of July, we was going and we thought we was going to get the whole remainder. And somebody that was going to purchase the building, that deal fell through. So we're going to keep pushing until the wheels fall off, And there are other people that potentially might want to buy it, but y'all know how it go. And if I believe that this building is meant for us. So we need everybody to support, and everybody that does. You give it the $100 level, you get access to the Solutionary University classes, curriculums, meal plans, shooting drills, workout, all of that. Private community, just people pushing each other and just learning. That's very important. So to do that, I'm asking everybody, instead of just going to Solutionary University and buying the membership there, go to GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Donate. I said $75 today because I was on Quantel's show. And I just want to incentivize everybody to support the work. This Second Amendment conversation is important. A lot of times when there's a Republican in office, not as many people purchase firearms or stay active on the Second Amendment fight. And it's important. Without the Second Amendment, all of the other rules fall. Okay, all of the other amendments fall, especially the first, right? So it's going to ask everybody to donate. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. You get some value. And if you're doing this on YouTube, if you got a business, somebody that got a small business, if it's yours, somebody just doing some good work, give them a shout out. Be a super chat member. Give it the $20 level. We try to get every night, Monday through Friday, we try to get 10 folks to give $20. It's only $100, but it adds up. Excuse me, $200, but it adds up. All right. So anyway, guys, today we're gonna have this conversation about Jasmine Crockett. Now I know most of y'all are right of center. If you follow me, you're more than likely libertarian, independent, or Republican, or you don't affiliate with a party, which all of those things are kind of like right of center. Democrats are just the left of the political aisle. Now, the young lady that I'm talking about tonight is Jasmine Crockett. Y'all know the one that was doing the back and forth with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Sidebar. Miss Green, MTG followed me on X before I got kicked off a few years back, or a year and some change. But anyway, she's the one that she went back and forth with, and she's been presenting as super ratchet, the hand check and all, neck popping, finger snapping, and a lot of y'all on the right don't like her. Y'all think some of y'all, not all of y'all, but some of y'all on the right use her because she does the huge eyelashes, she does this, she does that. And she's in politics, and she represents for the state of for the state of Texas. I think she's the 30th district over there. But anyway, some of y'all just like saying bigoted shit, and it don't hurt my feelings because, man, shoot, sticks and stones break my bones. Names never hurt me. But some of y'all just legitimately don't like black people that don't fit a certain mold. And it's some of y'all black folks that don't like white people that, if it's not Eminem, y'all don't like them, right? So I think that's a little bit silly, but nonetheless, we're going to talk about her tonight, and some of y'all going to jump out there. The people, some of y'all think there's nobody that thinks like that. Some of them people that I'm naming right now, they're going to definitely jump in. They might not be in the chat right now, but they're going to jump in there and be like, what? Jasmine, she's a ghetto thug. They're going to say stuff like that. So it's insinuating. But anyway, there's a rumor that Jasmine Crockett got fired from Congress, and it's not true. What actually happened was the GOP is trying and attempting to rezone her district. She has her job, and she's there until January, okay? Then she has to run again and try to get her seat and da-da-da-da-da. But she has not been fucking fired. I want y'all to stop with this thing that we do the same as people on the left do, which is hearing something, running with it, and it's just not true. You don't do any modicum of research. You just run with this thing, and that has to stop. Y'all got to stop it. But anyway, Jasmine Crockett, in essence, saying they are diluting the black vote, meaning Republicans. And we're going to go over that tonight. And I want to use her kind of like a case study. When you're watching our show, the Maj 2 Ratio, okay, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, streaming to all of the other places, right? When you're watching a show, everything is a lesson, unless it's an absolute fact that I can land completely on, right? I do land on the fact that I don't like how she presents. She didn't grow up in the hood. Her conversation wasn't the way that it is now with all of this neck popping, and she's like pandering to her base a bit. That's not even a question. But everybody that comes on the show that we break down and give critiques on, our job is to look at things from multiple perspectives so we can get holistic views. So I'll say some of the things that I like about Jasmine Crockett tonight. I'll say some of the things that I dislike about Jasmine Crockett tonight. And I'll say things that we can learn from how people are responding to her so we can have a serious application of objective thought and moving forward in our endeavors. That's what you come to the show for. You get entertained, no doubt. But you come to the show to get perspectives. The word perspective is not just a word, it's a viewpoint. It's a vantage point. Okay? It's a tool. It's a damn near a superpower if you use it right. Okay? So it's very important that we having these discussions about these people. I'm going to read some of this from the Hill. And I'll tell you guys my perspective on what she's saying. Okay? I'll tell you what she's saying. And what I view on how she's saying. The super weapon said I'm throttling. I don't know what that means. Am I choppy? Am I choppy? Am I? Y'all let me know. Video is choppy, but audio is good. I look good on my end. Y'all let me know in the comment section. Let me know. But let's read this real quick. Rep. Jasmine Crockett, Democrat from Texas, slammed GOP lawmakers in the Lone Star State for attempting to acquire 5 more House seats through mid-decade redistricting, while applauding Democrats' retaliatory efforts in other states. So what she's saying is, we don't like that the Republicans are trying to do this redistricting thing for her district in Texas. But when California is doing it, because Democrats are trying to do that same thing as a retaliation, it's going to be okay when they do. Let's read a little bit more. Quote, the Republicans, they're cheaters all day, every day, but we have never tried to match their energy till now, and I applaud it, Crockett said during a Tuesday appearance on CNN's The Source. This is quote, this is a dangerous road to travel down, and I do applaud those in California that say, if you want to play with us, we'll play back. She said elsewhere in the interview, referring to, am I still frozen? Am I still frozen, y'all? Or is it because of all of this video? Let me close some of this other stuff down. Am I still frozen? Y'all let me know if I'm still frozen. Anyway. She said elsewhere in the interview, referring to California Democrats' push for their own redistricting plan. You can stop this right now if you just say, hey, we'll stop in Texas because California doesn't go into play unless Texas does. Okay? She added, Democrat legislators who fled Texas earlier this month made their way back to the state this week in preparation for Wednesday votes on a GOP redistricting proposal. Republicans backed by President Trump are aiming to add 5 House seats in Texas as they seek to defend their narrow majority in Congress in the 2026 midterm elections. Okay? Crockett argued Tuesday the effort is a broader reflection of Republicans' repeated attempts to gain an edge in drawing political maps. Let me be very clear. This is the same shit that the Democrats, making it seem like this ain't something that Democrats do. All right? It is something that Democrats do. Do you know an example of them trying to do that? Them saying, we don't want 9 justices on the Supreme Court. We want 13. Her saying that they didn't politically do gerrymandering shit, and that's just not true. Historically, this has happened. Again, the best example of this is the Supreme Court. Democrats are actively trying to figure out a way to get 13 seats on the Supreme Court. So it's just always very, very interesting to me when people are trying to say, y'all cheating, but it's different when we do it. Both sides of the political aisle do this, and they forget that the cheat was on when their person wins. When you watch the Maj Toure show, the job is to give you a more principled stance and seeing the great things and the horrible things that both sides of the political aisle do. So now, because her district is about to get maybe, and that's still a maybe. They still got the vote on Wednesday. Okay? Now that her district is about to get redistricted, right? I mean, they had the vote yesterday. So your shit is going to get structured a certain way. Now it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Why does she become louder in this? And she say, oh, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong because your district wouldn't have the same people in it. So the neck popping Democrat thing that you're doing down there, you and Slim Thug backing you up, right? Now it's not the same district. That energy. So now it's a problem, and now, oh, that's messed up. They trying to cheat. But, oh, when we doing it in Cali, it's going to be okay. See, this is the thing. When somebody says they not a rat, if they're not a rat, they're not a rat, regardless of who's getting ratted on. So when somebody say, I never rat on my homies, but then they ops, you going to rat on you still a rat. So now it's cheating when the Republicans want to do it, but it's not necessarily cheating when y'all do it in retaliation. Let's read a little bit more. If you will recall, when we look at North Carolina, as soon as they ended up with a Republican majority in that Supreme Court, what did they do? They decided to take their map from 7, which is pretty much what the state of North Carolina looks like, and instead they added an additional 3 seats for Republicans, the Texas Democrat told CNN. So now it's 10-4. Well, when you look at the voting, nothing looks like 10-4, and they only did that once the Republicans took control, she added. Crockett has become a firebrand for Democrats in recent months, making regular cable news appearances to criticize the Trump administration and the president's MAGA allies in Congress. And she's amped up her criticism of the GOP over its redistricting efforts in her home state, both in interviews and on social media in recent weeks. What I said to y'all earlier. Now that she's impacted by it, now it's more of an issue. This is not new. As former Texas state rep, let me be clear. Locking Rep Nicole Collier inside as the chamber is beyond outrageous, Crockett wrote in a Monday post on social media platform X, referring to the new Texas House rules requiring Democrat legislators to be shadowed by an escort to ensure a quorum for votes. Forcing elected officials to sign permission slips and take police escorts to leave, that's not procedure. That's some old Jim Crow playbook, she added. Now, she going to add the Jim Crow. Jim Crow was a offshoot of the enslavement of black people and kept them separate and subpar standards and all of that. So she throw that out there to say, Democrats be wilding in the House a lot of times, so you got to go with a security guard or whatever. So now all of a sudden, that's Jim Crow. We got the guys. We have to stop letting people like this be in certain positions. And why do I say that? Let me switch this real quick, y'all. I say that because this is not a good representation of what it means to be a public servant. It's just not. This new age, almost like love and hip hop, attention seeking, only really about saying the most salacious thing, is not what politics, policy, legislation. Now, if you saying some of these little quips here and there, that's fine, but it needs to be backed with solid and sound policy. But I don't like the direction of where we're going as it relates to what a politician is supposed to be looking like and doing. All of this neck snapping and all, it's just, to me, it just comes off a little unprofessional. And I say this from a perspective of, while being empathetic and respectful for people's personal brand. Trump is one of them. He doesn't speak kind of like a politician, okay? But he's 1,000% a politician. But I don't see Trump, yes, I do. Sometimes I do. Yes, I do. I'm just not a fan of it. And when I ran for city council, I had to tone down some of my, rhetoric, for lack of a better term. And to be perfectly honest, as Bookworm just said, thank Trump for the Jasmine Crockett's. And this is why I wanted to bring her up and have this conversation tonight, because the reality is, when one side is doing it, the other side is disliking it. When your side is doing it, you don't have no problem with it. And Trump say some ratchet shit. He called Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas. He called Mike Bloomberg Mini Mike. It's just back now, because it's funny. He's more entertaining, and that's why I'm like, okay, that's funny, right? But best believe this is not a certain level of decorum that is anticipated or generally been the standard as it relates to a politician. This is one of the reasons why, as a PR person, Barack Obama is a model of what it just looks presidential. Now, here's the question. If it looks presidential, but you're bombing more nations and dropping more bombs than any president in history before you, is it really worthwhile? Because sometimes the villains are very, very, I said this not long ago. If there's somebody that's an influencer or whatever, and they always too well manicured, especially as men, I don't ever see them not well manicured. Like, they always got their outfit on and they always like soup. I don't trust that. So I want a certain level of humanity to the situation. However, I want a certain level of decorum, constitutional respect, standard operational procedure, and professionalism. I do. And if they can somehow mix that in with the entertaining and this, that, and the third, then cool. But Crockett is a more extreme version with more ratchet speech, because I don't think she's ratchet, than Trump is. That's all. That's it. I don't think it was Trump, though. Bookworm says Trump single-handedly opened the door for the ratchetness we see in politics now. I don't think it was Trump. It wasn't Trump. It was George Bush Jr. That's who started it. Mr. 9/11 himself. That's who started it. He was came from owned the Texas Rangers at the time, family, oil family, this, that, and the third, whoop-de, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. It was 1,000% him. He was saying some of the most ratchet shit in the world. Oh, I forgot you old. No, I just know history. He was saying some of the most ratchet shit in the world. The coke, the this, that, and the third. And he was not professional. George Bush Jr. was not professional at all. Remember, for some of the young whippersnappers, remember the president that he was over in Iraq and somebody threw 2 shoes at him? That's George W. Jr. Okay? And he, Bookworm says, Trump was the first president I saw cuss on the campaign trail. I knew it was downhill from here. It's actually been downhill on a professionalism. On a professional tip, the president that I was like, this guy, man, that I liked. I liked Obama for his suave and what he was supposed to represent. Okay? But the last professional president that I was like all across the board, handsome, professional, entertaining, dynasty, respected the Constitution. Y'all tell me in the comment section who y'all think I'm going to be. Who you think I'm going to say? Bookworm said you went all the way back to the 1900s. All right. I agree with this. Crockpot is cosplaying. Wants to be a city girl so damn bad. And she's not. She's not a city girl. She went to some expensive school. Yep, that's exactly who it is. Kennedy. Now allegedly, he had a little thing going on with Marilyn Monroe. Okay, allegedly. Nixon was the worst. I can't call him professional. He got America off the gold standard. Nixon was the worst. And he quit. He literally quit. He quit. He got on the plane and flew away. Helicopter and flew away. He quit. Tricky did. But it was Kennedy. Bill Clinton was in between, but Bill Clinton kept it professional. Him and his assassin wife. But my point here, guys, is yes, Nixon was super polished as a politician, but I'm saying from the run of the gambit of people that I'm like, yo, I could get behind too. I like the idea of Obama. I loved his poise, and let's keep it a buck. Before Obama got in, Obama was getting all of the bullshit, racist bullshit that was just getting thrown his way from the gate. And I thought that his poise under pressure was amazing. So we having this conversation. Obviously, we're going to go back to the topic at hand. Guys, let's get the likes up. Everybody hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you watching this on X, hit the repost button. Everybody just share it all over the place. I'm going to ask everybody to support the work. GibsonGo.com/solutionary. I just did Quantel's show. He said, let's get the $57,000 we need for the rest of the center. Let's get it tonight. GibsonGo.com/solutionary. No, y'all was, Bookworm says y'all was around for Nixon? Yeah. No, we just like studying history, right? Nixon's policies weren't cool. But as a seasoned professional, getting people to do shit, 1,000%. That's why it was one of the reasons he was called Tricky Dick. Richard Nixon. All right? My point in saying this, guys, is holistically, the last president, Obama, I could respect up until he got in. I was like, he's going to change. And when he got in, he campaigned against closing Guantanamo Bay, the war in Iraq, everything. And I was like, bet. And what's the first? He campaigned on ending the Patriot Act. What was the first thing he did when he got in office? Re-up on the damn Patriot Act. Right then was the beginning of my disillusionment with politicians. Okay? But Kennedy kept it G. Did y'all know the $2 bills that y'all see every so often now? Those were a part of a plan that that Kennedy created. Those $2 bills were made and printed by the United States government, not the Federal Reserve Bank. Kennedy was attempting to take the United States off of the Federal Reserve situation. What happened to him? No, another president that got shot in the head that tried that? Abraham Lincoln. He was trying to get the money supply. He came up with a different currency. It was called greenbacks. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that the banksters and the money printers were counterfeiting the greenbacks? And that's where Lincoln and his administration made the Secret Service. The Secret Service was initially made to stop counterfeiting. Did y'all know that? They were the people that opposed the centralized banking supplies got shot. It's wild. It's wild when you think about it. Okay? But anyway, we're going to get back into some of this Jasmine Crockett. I brought all of those things up to give you guys an understanding of painting a picture of what a politician really, being suave, being debonair, knowing your shit, being on point, being respectable, being respected nationally and in international waters. Okay? Dre says, thanks for the super chat, Dre. Dre says, we got to jump, Bookworm. He talking shit. So this refined a public figure that I think felt it and felt that way, but he was a public servant, but he was not a politician that felt the same way was Malcolm X, especially after the pilgrimage to Mecca, when he changed his name to El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, right? And his ability to articulate points and bang, 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 and then be on the corner in Philly or Harlem and chop it up with people, it was amazing without coming off inauthentic. And unfortunately, Jasmine Crockett comes off inauthentic. So we're going to watch a video real quick right here. And in this video, she's talking about the president and his supporters. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear this.
And one of the reasons he is so desperate to make sure that he can win in the midterms is because he knows that Democrats is not about partisanship. It's about doing what's right. It's about doing the American thing. And to be clear, you can wave all the flags you want to, but I can tell you right now, the most unpatriotic people that we have in this country are this president.
So she's saying that MAGA is unpatriotic, and so is Trump. I need y'all to tell me what y'all think about that. Let me run that back. All right, y'all gonna stop bullying me. Some of y'all saying the audio's bad, the this, that, and the third. I don't know. Bookworm, what's going on? What she's saying in this clip when she does Gavin Newsom's podcast. Sidebar. Gavin Newsom is a very, very dangerous politician. Okay? Outside of the fact that I'm like, ain't you supposed to be running California? How the fuck you got time to do all these podcasts? You do Sean Ryan's podcast, you do this, you do that. Your fucking country's in a state of absolute disarray. I don't know what's up with the audio, but she's saying basically here that Trump, the reason why he's trying to cheat is because he's unpatriotic, and the most unpatriotic people in America are MAGA and Trump. MAGA and Trump. And so because of that, you need to be paying attention to her. She literally said in this video that we can't hear the audio on. She just said, the Democrats want to do what's right. They're the most American, and Trump can wave all of the flags he wants. It don't matter because we need to take that flag back as Americans. This is the same person that stands up and says the American dream is this and it's not this and is all of America's racist. And again, I do think that there's systemic racist issues in America, but I don't think it's everything. Okay? I just don't. Oh, that's why he on all the podcasts, because he's doing a presidential tour? Bookworm says, if Gavin Newsom is ever able to become president, Americans deserve everything they get. No lie. Super Weapon says she's really drinking the stupid juice. I want y'all to be very clear on what's happening here, though. We're talking about Jasmine Crockett in this one instance, but it's not about Jasmine Crockett per se. Okay? I want to tell y'all what's happening. We are watching Democrats do a good job of rebranding. Let's go back a little bit. Earlier this week, I did 2 shows on the Amanda Seales show. What do you call it? It's not a show. She did a, what'd you call that joint? Like 20 verses 1. That's what she did. Did a 20 verse 1. And in the process of doing that 20 verse 1, they rebranded her and picked people, the left, picked people to make her look like a legend. She is not a legend. In any way, shape, or form. She's not a legend. They made her look like one, though. Because that's their argument to try to rebrand. They're about to try to they did this going into the election in November. They packaged it as if these guys were going to be so objective. I did a podcast where He was like, yo, Charlemagne is actually calling out some of the bullshit on the left. And I was like, no, he not. No, he not. He gonna act like he objective, and then closer to the election, when the Democrats figure out who their person's gonna be, he gonna meat gobble that person. And that's what he did. So what they're doing right now is trying to look like they're American. They're trying to look like they're objective. They're gonna look like they're trying to be constitutional. They're gonna do everything to pretend as if they're not what they've been the entire time. That's what they're about to do. And y'all have to steer clear of the silliness. Do not fall for this. In no way, shape, or form are you supposed to fall for this. If you fall for it, you low-key kind of stupid. Okay? There is not, now mind you, the election, the national election, is 3 years from now. Let's go back to Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom sat his ass down, and I got some questions about Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan has been sitting down with a lot, and you sit down whoever you want to. But Sean Ryan's been sitting down with a lot of goofballs and giving them a platform like they really, really cool. He sat there and he gave Gavin Newsom a cig. He gives him a cig on the show, meaning a cig sour. And Gavin Newsom sat up there and act as if he's not one of the most anti-gun motherfuckers in the world. He said, I'm not anti-gun. I just believe that we should have some safe and some regulations and da-da-da. And Sean Ryan didn't check him on that shit at all. What we're watching is people that are starved for podcast views give platforms to people without critiquing them, without challenging them, because they kind of low-key want to be on the end of things. Okay? So you gonna have these people sitting down with people and not grilling them and not asking them the right questions. Because they kind of low-key want to be with the in crowd as opposed to doing what's right and what's necessary and what's objective and what's the standard operational procedure. So you're going to see a Michelle Obama podcast that none of you are going to fucking watch. You're going to see a Gavin Newsom podcast that none of you are fucking going to watch. Never mind the fact that in order to do a podcast, you got to do a podcast. But how you doing a podcast and you run California, which is the 4th largest economy in the world. This is the same person that will critique. They're about to act like Trump is this. They're about to rebrand the Democrats. They're about to, in California, they're about to act like Republicans are responsible for the hikes in energy prices. They're not going to tell you the fact that, hey, we in California, Gavin Newsom and others, told y'all you got to have an electric vehicle in however many years. Those it's done. Those mandates are done. It didn't catch, even with Elon getting all of the Teslas and the government backing. So that whole EV mandate, you notice you don't hear people talking about electric vehicles as much no more, right? Other than Tesla. And then when Elon went Trump, that threw a monkey wrench in their plan. But in the meantime, they had tax dollars and all types of things. Your company got to have this. You got to have no emissions. Trillions of dollars spent. I think maybe 4 to 8 billion in California, right? On the high-speed electric rail. They got 1 mile worth of this shit done, and it was $8 billion. So they're about to rebrand and say how somehow because the electric prices are going up. Somehow that's the Republicans' fault. They're about to try to rebrand every single thing. And the people on the right are falling for it too. Because you know why? Because it's okay when our side does it. It's okay to be disrespectful to groups of people. It's okay to disrespect the Constitution when our side does it. Oh, well, those black people in D.C., the crime is up. So we need to go in there and violate their 4th Amendment rights, their 2nd Amendment rights. You got people on the right advocating for that. You got this person now. When was the last time you ever heard a Democrat say something like what she just said as it relates to her saying, yeah, we are real Americans. When the fuck, give me a show. Tell me in the chat. When was the last time you heard a Democrat politician that got Israeli flags in front of their door or Somalian flags or whatever? When was the last time you heard one of them say, yeah, we got to take this American flag back because we really Americans? When was the last time any of y'all heard that happen? These the same people that was telling everybody to take a knee for the flag a few years back. I ain't forget. Now she talking about get the flag back from them because it's a rebrand. It's a rebrand. Conservatives forgot when Mar-a-Lago got raided. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. I mentioned that a few days ago. Mar-a-Lago got raided by the feds and it wasn't okay. It was a violation. But it's cool to send the feds to D.C. because it's a District of Columbia, not a city, and it's always been under federal control since 73 when they gave it back to these local politicians, the Home Rule Act. But it's always been that. But it's okay to send the feds down to D.C. because we're here to protect you. Now we're supposed to be in alignment with the FBI, the same FBI that Trump advocated and said, yo, they weaponizing the DOJ against me. And they did. But now we're supposed to be cool with the feds. Now we're supposed to accept the fact that Gavin Newsom is talking about other countries and Trump and this, that, and the third being horrible in the economy. Gavin Newsom has control of California the entire time he's ran, whether when he was the mayor in that smaller city or when he was the governor of California. The reality is he campaigned the entire time on ending homelessness, and he got tens of billions of dollars out of the California budget to do what? End homelessness. Homelessness has increased under his watch. They're doing rebrands because they seem more relatable to you in the moment. And when they seem more relatable to you, you feel like they're one of you. They are not. I fell for that on the first Obama term. It felt, man, the marketing, it felt right. Don't get me wrong. But he got in office and did what? Switched up. Exactly. They did the numbers and they saw that they went too far left. They said, oh, we got to come back. Same thing. You got to pretend like you objected for a minute. Trump did the same thing. Why are we talking about Trump, Gavin Newsom, in a show that's supposed to be about Jasmine Crockett? Because they all do the same things. You are watching PR at its finest. Okay? Why does she have on what she has on right here in this podcast? For the same reason that when what's her name? AOC was wearing low-cut stuff and pushing the bras up. Because the men will start to, now black men might want to support her. If you notice, let's look. Let's check it out. Y'all notice she don't got the eyelashes, the crazy eyelashes.
Win in the midterms is because he knows Democrats it's about doing what's right. It's about doing the American thing. And to be clear,
she just said with Democrats, it's not even about partisanship. It's about doing right. It's about what's good for the America. This person right now, she just said, I know y'all can't hear it. She just said, this is not about partisanship. Democrats are not about partisanship. They're about doing what's right for the American people. In less than 10 seconds after that, she says the most unpatriotic people in the world, in America, are MAGA people and the Trump people. That is partisanship. They are doing something for y'all right now, and when you tap into my show, I can see it coming a mile away because I've seen it for 1,000 years. Like Bookworm said, I'm old, allegedly. Okay? This is a approach that they did for Kennedy to beat Nixon. Kennedy and Nixon, their election was the first one that was really, really publicized on television. When the TV showed up, because Kennedy was behind, but when they got on TV for them to debate, Kennedy looked like a movie star. Because he had a PR team behind him and they knew that they was going to go the television route. Okay? Tricky Dick looked like he was sweaty. Literally, his hair started to curl up and it almost looked like he had horns on his head. They have been practicing with PR as it relates to politicians since that election. Nixon lost. So they're doing that with these people. They making Gavin Newsom, they putting them on right of center podcasts. Sean Ryan. oh man, he gets the gun. I thank you for this so much. Da da da. Oh, he's not really anti-gun. They did the same thing when RFK Jr., Democrat, went independent and was running for office. RFK Jr. was the entire time when he was a Democrat was anti-gun. I got the tweets where he said the NRA is like a blood-soaked organization. I got the tweets. And then he got up there and said, well, I'm not anti-gun. Yes, the fuck you are. But it's a rebrand. They rebrand them to get in office. When they get in office, they don't have to do the same level of rebrand. They just switch. Don't believe me? Don't believe me? Cenk, Uyghur, and Anna rebranded. They're going more right of center. They're going to have the conservative, okay? This is not that they've changed their overall views. They were not objective and honest the entire time from the gate. The very second that y'all came across my platform, y'all was like kind of fighting. I like Majo on this, but sometimes he sounds like a leftist. Yeah, because sometimes things on the left are correct. I believe in sometimes helping people, so-called charity. I believe in that. Not forever. We got a voluntary donation thing. We don't take government grants because I'm limited government. But you guys, we are doing this, all of this work based on you guys choosing to practice philanthropy. Philanthropy, charity, nonprofit work is a leftist ideology. But it's in defense of the Second Amendment, which is the conundrum. So some of y'all met me on social media and was like, I like this guy, but right, because you're so used to letting this politician rebrand or pretend they one way for a while to go along with what you accept as your value system. You don't hold their feet to the fire. You ignore their blatant lies. This chick right here just said the Trump people are cheaters. That's why they're trying to redistrict. And they're the most unpatriotic, MAGA and Trump, most unpatriotic in America. And with Democrats, it's not partisan. It's not even partisan. It's about what's good for America. These people said, take a knee for the flag. She brought up the flag. These people, she just said that and then contradicted herself. They're working on her. They're working on her rebrand. Gavin Newsom is a different type of sociopath because he's really good at it. And he'll lie to you right in your face and act like, and you might be thinking like, am I tripping? That's what makes him dangerous. Attractive, rich, okay? Definitely sociopathic. Do you remember in 1,000 years ago in the year 2020, when California said all of the stores and the wineries and the restaurants got to shut down? I remember because I was in California about to do an episode of Jubilee, actually. I was there the day that everything was going to shut down. I was there. I was drinking wine on Santa Monica Pier, and I filmed the episode of Jubilee. During that time, right after everything shut down, Gavin Newsom said all of the restaurants and wineries got to close. Do you know whose restaurant and winery was open? His winery and his restaurant. If I'm lying, I'm flying. This type of sociopath, contradictory, Jasmine Crockett, Trump at times, Newsom at times, insert any Obama at times, right? This is capable of happening because we go into our silos. She said something that's key. She said, it's not supposed to be partisan. It's supposed to be what's good for Americans. She's saying that, but it's just lip service. It's not real. She don't really believe it. But that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to hold feet to the fire. We're supposed to say, if this chick, any public servant, gets something right, we're supposed to go, that's right. And then when they go back and do something dumb, we're supposed to go, that's wrong. The GOP, to a certain extent, are diluting the black vote. They are. Because they supposed to do it. Politics is about the securing, maintenance, and expansion of your interests. And because Trump has been a 180, he campaigned great this go round. The first 2 weeks to a month of his campaign was great. Then after that, the last 6 months has been a shit show. overspending. I just was talking about this on Quantel's podcast. Overspending, massive money printing, no Epstein files, no cutting back on income tax, no destroying of the Department of Education. He wrote something out, but not really. No respect for the Second Amendment, overreaching government in D.C., no reduced spending, no budget for Congress. These are all what happened in the last 6 months. So we are supposed to go, that's what happened, but we're not doing that because we go to our silos. And that's how we get a Trump. They pretend the Jasmine Crockett. I'm super ratchet. Now you gotta, this is her, if she gets redistricted, right? If she does, the redistricting happens. If she wants to campaign for January, she has to change her look. Look at the colors that they pick. Look who they got. They got a white male, Gavin Newsom, to do the, she's about to go into rebrand and election cycle, campaign. Because now that I'm redistrict, I cannot approach this the same way. And it's not bad or evil. I'm just telling y'all what it is. Do not have any hope in these people and thinking that you're getting the genuine who the fuck they are, because you're not. You're not. The game is to pretend like you want to be there to help the people. You get access, you get $170,000 a year minimum, and these people then have access to things, and that's why Nancy Pelosi's now worth however many $100 million on a $170,000 a year salary. So their job is to stay in office so they can get the 170, get the access, get the perks, get the insider trading. This has nothing to do with actual public service. Do you know why I know that? Because most of them will be saying no to the bills, but they're not saying no to the bills. There's one guy that might be saying no to the bills, and Republicans are attacking him, even though he's actually a limited government conservative. Who am I talking about? Thomas Massie. So the GOP is pointing the finger at actual limited government conservatives, liberty-minded Republicans like Massie, and in support of a Lindsey Graham. Republicans in the GOP will say, when Biden's administration, get the hell out of Ukraine. But will champion when Trump is in office and sends money and resources to Ukraine. We'll say Biden is spending too much, but then say, well, Trump got to do what he got to do because he's going to get pushback from Congress. But not really, because they got the House and the Senate. See, a Jasmine Crockett can exist and be this type of person because of the fact that you let the Pandora's box of unprofessional politicians. Now, we had Kanye ran for president. And don't get me wrong, I do think that there should be some blue-collar, hard-working men and women that run for local seats especially. I ran for city council. I took it as a learning experience to get my chops up and all of that. Okay? But at the same time, some people should just, did y'all see the last election? It was like 50,000 people up there running for office. Why? So you can fundraise, keep some of the money for yourself. Then, when you keep some of the money for yourself, when you absorb into somebody's thing, you can give them some of the money. You understand? That's what I learned when I ran for city council. My point, and it's even bigger money on the national level. We're getting what we deserve because we're not involved in the civic process holistically. So when I say we have a civics class at Solutionary University, and it comes with the curriculum, and you get access to all of those classes and curriculum when you enroll at Solutionary University to empower your life. When I say that, people go, well, damn, Maj, what made you think about doing a civics class? Because it's one of the things that empowers people to genuinely know what's going on out here. You got to do it. You have to, so when I say it can't just be guns, it got to be the Second Amendment. Second Amendment means Constitution, means civics. It means we got to study this. You have to pay attention to this. Otherwise, these people, and you got to get some PR. You got to get PR training. We talk about these types of things in the Solutionary non-private community because we sharpen each other. Yo, don't approach it that way, approach it this way. Yo, I hear you there, but here's where I learned from this last time. We have to work together, and it has to be holistic. These people, this girl done put a low-cut shirt, she straightened her hair, she don't got the big ratchet hood weave, right? Straightened her hair, lightened, her makeup is lighter. Why? Because if that district get re-switched, she's still a Texan. She's still fighting for the people of Texas. She just got to look a little bit different if her demographic is a little bit different. And they're going to say things that look like they're trying to be for the American dream. Gavin Newsom is going to get on every platform and act like I wouldn't be surprised if Gavin Newsom isn't on the Breakfast Club pretty shortly. I don't know. Maybe he was. I don't know. I don't watch the Breakfast Club. But that's where they send their people to go, we got a propaganda campaign. Go, come on, let's get on here. I wouldn't be surprised. They're going to act like they're doing so much for the community. Gavin Newsom got up there and said, he was making fun of the Bed Bath & Beyond people because Bed Bath & Beyond said they're not opening up no brick and mortar stores in California. Gavin Newsom said, what do you mean the Bed Bath & Beyond that went bankrupt? Oh my God, like he was making fun of them. But the reality is, he said that, and he made fun of Texas, them trying to redistrict and all of that, right? And he mentioned California is the fourth largest economy. We, as California, pay $83 billion a year, 83, whatever the number was, into the federal government annually. And all I can think to myself is, you as the state of California don't make shit. What you do is you tax, because you're the most overregulated, overtaxed state in the goddamn union. So you take money from actual people providing products and services, and you feed it back to the tax base and the federal government. Never mind the fact that the federal government uses it incorrectly, and you, as Gavin Newsom, took $10 billion from the federal government for your little anti-homeless, let's do an electric speed train thing that hasn't been finished or fixed. See, our job as solutionaries is not to get caught up in the rebrands and the PR. Our job is to go, this is what you did. I don't give a fuck what your low-cut shirt look like right now. These are big old socialist titties. Okay? My job is to teach you guys how to spot this silly shit. Y'all ain't noticed this ain't her traditional big poofy weave? See, she like a sexy red for her district or her old district. The reason why Sexy Red blew up is because she looked like every ratchet hood joint. They could relate. The ratchetness could relate to that one district. Now you got to relate differently. So they're giving her plenty of time to rebrand across all of the platforms. Straighten your hair, do the look. She looked like a soccer mom right here. You understand? The backdrop is white. You understand? And I mean that in the sense of like, this is, I dropped my kids off, I got my glass of wine. They going for the Olivia Pope look. You feel me? America, kinda. Because I already got this demographic. Now let's go over here. This is going to be happening through all of the midterms for sure. You're going to see this all across the districts. Okay? All across the districts you're going to see this. And not just with her. They had to speed up and do it for her because we need her in the seat down there in Texas. And then for her to complain and say, oh, it's because the Republicans are trying to steal, man, y'all Democrats try to get 13 seats in the Supreme Court of the United States. Shut up. It's not about Jasmine Crockett, y'all. It's about how these politicians are playing you. They can play you because you don't remember what they did. You don't look into their voting record. Y'all motherfuckers damn near never watch C-SPAN. You feel me? And we have to make sure that we're having a transformation to make sure we're going in the right direction. You understand? We gotta be better leaders. But we become better leaders by learning more. You understand? You dig what I'm saying? We have to learn this system so we can beat it. And it can be beaten. It can. We have to understand our rights or we're going to lose them. Simple like that. You got to lead the household. Then you lead your community. This is what the Solutionary 9 Solutionary University is all about. I can't just tell y'all about the gun thing. I have to empower y'all and strengthen yourself and empower yourself. We can win, especially when we see the game ahead of time. After a while, you won't even see a human. You'll see, oh, this being is about to do that. Watch. They about to say this. Watch, they about to do that. That's why when people be like, damn, Maj called it. Yeah, because I pay attention. I'm looking. PR, civics, health and fitness, shooting, understanding imminent threat, private chat, private community. All of these are things that I want everybody to support, everybody to be a part of. I cannot tell you the amount of fear that they have for us teaching you the things around civics that they never wanted you to learn. Especially when you start doing it from a holistic perspective. You know that there's something weird about a fucking Gavin Newsom or this chick. But you can't put your finger on it. We show you how to do that so you can empower yourself. That's what we're about. Anyway, guys, givesendgo.com/solutionary. I want everybody to do a few things for me. One, I want you guys to share this space. After it's saved, whatever, if you're watching on Facebook, you're watching on youtube.com/MajToure, I want you to copy the link and I want you to share it to some other platform. Tell folks what you think about the show. Hey, I disagree with him here, but it's over, whatever you think. That's one. Two, okay? Listen to this. Biden picked Cardi B, Kamala picked Meg Stallion, Trump picked Diamond and Silk as a reflection of that voter base. Crockett is the next character, and that's all I'm telling y'all. When you see that they're the character, you understand that it's a symbol. It's not, look for the substance. What is substantial about this person? The substance of a Gavin Newsom is his history as the governor of California. And he's been in politics for some time. Never mind the fact that he's like related to Nancy Pelosi and all of that. Okay? But if those politicians are doing that and picking these caricatures, they can't be taken all the way seriously. Other than if they win the election and if they're in the seat. Okay? Keimer Shadow says, I share it, they get mad. So what? Let them get mad. Share this all over the place, guys. That's what I need you all to do. If you're watching on X, hit the repost button. It costs you nothing and it's free. It's right there. Hit the repost button and I'm going to ask everybody. Bookworm, put the link up on the joint, please. givesendgo.com/solutionary. I'm going to ask everybody to pitch in. Everybody can commit to $5, $10, whatever. Obviously, everybody, I said $75 because I said it on Quantel's show. From now until midnight, you guys got 3 hours. 3 hours. Every donor at $75 or more, I'm going to give you access to Solutionary University and all the things that I said. The reason why I want you to do it at givesendgo.com/solutionary is because you're paying it forward for our building fund to buy the Solutionary Center, as well as you're paying forward for people to learn firearms training in person. This Second Amendment fight ain't over. Regardless of next week, you see Jasmine Crockett up there talking about she a Second Amendment supporter. She's not. So the fight's not over. They just very clever and cunning. So we need your help. The link is on the screen. If you're watching on YouTube, it's right there in the chat. If you're watching on X, the pinned post, that video up there, just hit that link. givesendgo.com/solutionary. I'm going to ask everybody to give it the $75 or more level up until midnight, but you can give whatever you can. The minimum, everybody that's watching this should give $5. That's the minimum that you can give. It's the absolute minimum. When we're talking about these things, and if the support goes away because y'all feel like I'm chopping it up with Maj, and Maj does this because Maj wants you guys to empower yourselves, and Maj wants to be able for us to generate resources that we can continue empowering our communities. There needs to be a solutionary center in every major city in America. This can be done. We can empower and take back our nation. And I know that's what you feel like if you tapping into my show. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Thank you all for tapping into the show. I will see you all tomorrow. Same time, same channel, youtube.com/Maj2Ray. I want you all to remember to be safe and be solutionary.